This is Terry.
And this is Lance.
Welcome to the Corridor of the Paranormal. Tonight's topic, spiritual phenomena.
We're going to start off by talking about what some believe to be spirit orbs. You mind explaining what spirit orbs to some of our first-time listeners, Terry?
Sure thing, Lance. Spirit orbs are these white, orb-shaped balls of light that some people can see with the naked eye, and others can only see with cameras that usually appear at night, and most people seem to think that they're ghosts.
And that's where I get lost in the whole idea. Because I just think that people are jumping the gun when they just automatically assume that a ball of light could be, a ghost or a spirit or anything like that. I think that most likely it's a fairy, like an invisible fairy. My reasoning behind this is because when you see these orbs, most of the time they're in graveyards and places like that, so people automatically think ghosts. But if I was a ghost, I wouldn't want to be in a graveyard. I mean, would you want to be in a graveyard, Terry?
No, man, I'd be painting up the town red,
I wouldn't want to be in a graveyard. That'd bum me out. It would just keep, reminding me.
No, it's like you just died. Why would you hang around? Would I want to
Exactly.
hang around where my dead body was? Or would I want to, would I want to go to like an amusement park or go to the store?
Right. Or to like some bitch ex-girlfriend's house.
Most graveyards are also near the wilderness, which is where most fairies reside.
Some bitch ex-girlfriend that thinks you're crazy and breaks up with you because you want to start a paranormal talk show. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, moving on.
What about like an orb that's the ghost of a fairy? Where would that be?
Well,
I want to know if would that hang out in the graveyard? Like, that kind of, it could be confusing.
I guess that makes more sense. Simply because if it's a ghost of a fairy, it might like to hang out in the graveyard because that's what it did while it was alive. It kind of goes back to the whole idea of why would you want to hang out in a graveyard? See, but fairies, they like to hang out in graveyards anyway, if my theory is correct, so it would make more sense that a ghost of a fairy would hang out in a graveyard.
Yeah, I think so.
I just think it's bullshit that, whenever anyone sees, like, an orb, they automatically just have to think, like, oh, it's got to be a ghost. Like, that's the only possible explanation. It's ridiculous. There's so many other things it could be.
Could be fairies, moon spirits, will-o-wisps, possibly the energy residue from a dimension-jumping demon. I mean, I don't know. Do you know, OG Terry?
I don't know, Lance. You know what I think a really good theory would be?
What do you think it could be, Terry?
Okay, I want you to look at the picture and look at the different orbs. Take a look at the fog, how they all wrap around each other, sort of the play of the shadows. I think we could be looking at a giant ghost.
Makes sense.
I mean, the orbs, they could either be part of the ghost or, the ghost could have ate the orbs. I don't know. But I think it's a possibility. It's not necessarily 100% a giant ghost.
Yeah, it could be. See, that's what I'm trying to promote here, that we shouldn't just jump to conclusions when we see orbs. I mean, it could be anything. And, I mean, maybe it is more than one. And, I mean, maybe when you get a picture and it only has, like, one orb in it, maybe it's, like, the ghost's hand, or, like the ghost, like, the side of the ghost's face or something. Like, he's turning around. Like, you got a bad picture of him or something.
Yeah, I mean, we're just really here, to promote an open mind. Like, it could be a fairy. It could be a ghost.
Yeah.
Could be one giant, I mean, what if that's a giant ghost and it ate a fairy, and so we're seeing the fairy inside of the ghost? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
we're just here to explore that.
Okay, so let's go on to another topic. Well, dealing with the same thing. They say that ghosts feed off of electromagnetic energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, what did ghosts do before there were electricity?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
What did ghosts do before there was electricity?
Dude.
How'd they eat?
Maybe that's why there's not as much hauntings, because, they have, when there's, in civilization, we have all this energy, so they're just satisfied, they can eat whenever they want, they don't have to get bitter, and They
Right,
don't,
yeah,
they don't lash out at
pissed
people.
before. Yeah, they were pissed. They were like, because the only time they could eat was during a thunderstorm, right?
Or
so that's
like,
why thunderstorms always have this eerie thing with them. Cause
or like the electric energy from fear and stuff. Like,
right, because
Well, while we're on the topic of ghosts, I wanted to bring this one up on the show for a while, and I think tonight is the night to do it. I want to bring up the ultimate ghost, the Holy Ghost. Now, whether or not you believe in Christianity or not, I think that there are some pretty interesting theories on why something like this is around. You know, okay, so what we know about the Holy Ghost is surprisingly not that much. You know, God and Jesus, and how, like, Jesus is the Son of God, and he's also God at the same time, and then, like, the Holy Ghost is there, but he's more of a, he's like the, it's like the, I don't know if he's there just because it's the Trinity, because of the magic power of the number 3, or if he's there for some other reason, and I don't know. I mean, what could that possibly be? We Googled it, and you usually don't find that much about the Holy Ghost. I mean, you find some things along the lines of, like, you know, it goes around spreading love to everybody and all that kind of stuff, but we just don't have as much information on it as you think that we would. And the other weird thing about the Holy Ghost is that it's not strictly a Christian thing. It's also in Judaism and even in Islam.
I have one idea about what the Holy Ghost could be. Many scientists think that before the Big Bang, there existed another universe before this one that ended up collapsing into itself, essentially being destroyed, and then it was reborn as this universe. I think the Holy Ghost could be the ghost of the previous universe. I think that's a possibility.
Like, the entire universe has a ghost?
Yeah, the entire universe died, and now the entire universe has a ghost, and it's haunting this universe. In some trinities, like in the Gnostic traditions and stuff, they just think it should be like mother, father, and child.
so that the Holy Ghost might be a woman.
Yeah.
I think that's ridiculous because no religion, especially back then, wanted to have a woman to be any kind of big part of it.
Well, there's some traditions basically that were heavily stamped out. Even some of the more early versions of Christianity were a lot more respectful to women. Like before Christianity was connected to Judaism and the Roman Empire and stuff, it was definitely more like a hippie Buddhist type religion where, like, in the Nag Hammadi text, it talks about the guy who is God in the Bible, Yahweh, isn't actually the true God of the universe. He's this demon that lives in space that's trying to control our brains and trying to put us into like a brain matrix. And he has all these demons and angels that control the planet and rule humanity through their priests and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
Which is pretty fucking interesting story for like 100 AD. And so, you know, if the stories are true, it's like the space demons used manipulated the master controllers and stamped out the religion.
I know. Okay. And for some of the people out there that are new to this show and they don't really know what the master controllers are, my friend Ter is going to explain right now.
The master controllers are a small elite group of human beings, aliens, and demons that are attempting to implement the master control plan on the entire solar system. And their goal is to be in master control of every aspect of every person's life by the time that they're done with their plan.
Taxes, death of Jesus, gas prices,
The master controllers.
the media, bad breakups, every war,
Master controllers.
rape, racism, the McRib only being a seasonal thing.
Master controllers.
Well, it looks like we're running out of time, but don't worry, folks. We'll be sure to put something else up real soon.
Next time we'll be talking about astral projection.
Until next time, boys and girls, this has been The Corridor, the Paranormal.